In this video, we're replacing the shoe on a power hold or hold-tight transport vehicle restraint. Before working on any of our equipment, always lock out and tag out the equipment and barricade the area before starting. The first step we're going to do is remove the access cover for the motor, and that is going to be a 7/16 wrench. Next, remove the top access cover. With the top cover off, we gain access to the valve block and the track stops. What we need to do is remove the bolt on the valve block so we can pull it away to allow our track stops to come out. Just going to remove the bolt. Next, we use a 1/2-inch wrench and remove the bolts. If the bolts do not remove freely, you may have to use an Allen wrench on the back side. Next, we've got to remove the track stops. To do that, we take a large screwdriver and we're going to wedge it down between the slide block and the shoe. This will take the tension off, and we can remove this one and this one here. You got to pull in between the hose and the valve block. With that free, we take the screwdriver out, and now we can remove the shoe. Take a screwdriver, we'll wedge it up underneath the shoe, raise it up in the air, wiggle it back a little bit, lift up the rack weldment, remove the spring off the rack weldment, and lift it out of the way and set on the ground. With the rack weldment and the shoe on the ground, we'll remove the pin out of the shoe and separate the rack weldment and replace it into the new shoe. Before you assemble this, make sure you put a layer of extreme pressure Moly lubricant. That'll lubricate the pin properly, so pre-lubricate it, slide your pin if this is a new shoe, and then reassemble. Reinstall the shoe into the restraint. Slide it back. Take the spring, slip it over the rack weldment. That's going to drop down into the latch block. Rotate the shoe back down. Take that large screwdriver again, and you're going to wedge it down. At that point, we install our track stops. So this side is a little bit more difficult. I have to lift the hoses up out of the way. Once lined up, we can put our bolts in place. When tightening up the track stops, make sure that the bars are level or parallel with the restraint. Tight, remove the screwdriver, reinstall the bolt on the valve block. Now the valve block has got a dowel pin that you're going to line up. With that dowel pin lined up in place, slip your bolt in. Do not over tighten this, just nice and snug. Next, we'll install the motor cover. Last, we'll install the access cover on the unit. We will disconnect the lockout tagout. And that concludes our video on replacing the shoe on a power hold or hold-tight transport vehicle restraint. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.